Welcome to the fourth part on chapter review questions of quadratics. This is a question on finding roots, or in other words, we can say it's a question on finding values of x. So if you want to solve this, we need to simplify it first. So what I'm going to do is we're going to keep the first bracket and we'll try to expand that as the product of two brackets. So instead of x minus 2 whole square, we can write it as x minus 2 times x minus 2 equals 0. Now, we can expand this bracket and we can also expand that bracket. So let's try to do that here. Let's try to expand the first two brackets. So we have x squared, uh, then we have x times minus 4, which is minus 4x, 1 times x, which is plus x, and plus 1 times minus 4, which is minus 4. On the other bracket, we have x times x, which is x squared, and then I have minus 2 times x, which is minus 2x, and then again x times minus 2, minus 2x, and minus 2 times minus 2, which is plus 4. And then we'll do some simplification. So here we have x squared minus 4x plus x is minus 3x minus 4. And on the other bracket, we have x squared and minus 2x is minus 4x plus 4, and that equals 0. Some more simplification. So let's keep that to outside. X squared 3x minus 4, and we can take this negative sign inside, so that becomes minus x squared plus 4x minus 4 equals 0, because that's going to flip all the signs. And then we can take this 2 inside, and that becomes 2x squared minus 6x minus 8 minus x squared plus 4x minus 4 equals 0. Now we can combine the like terms. So here we have 2x squared and minus x squared. So that turns out to be x squared. We have minus 6x plus 4x. So that's just minus 2x. And minus 8 minus 4, which is minus 12. And we are done simplifying this. Now I have tried to get rid of everything else except for the final answer, by which we found by expanding this and trying to simplify. So once we expand all that and try to simplify, we get this answer. Now, um, the next part, of course, we have to find the roots, and to find the roots we need to use the quadratic formula, and I've brought the quadratic formula right over here. So what we can see from this is that the value of a, because there's nothing here, that means there's a 1. So the value of a is 1, the value of b is minus 2, and the value of c is minus 12. So we're going to use those values in the equation or the quadratic formula. So we have a times, so 1 times x plus b, which is minus 2, divided by 2 times a, so 2 times 1, and whole square of that, plus we have c, the value of c is minus 12, minus b square. Now the value of b is minus 2, so we have minus 2 whole square divided by 4 times a, or 4 times 1. Then we can do some more simplification. So we can ignore the 1 here, and we can write it as x plus negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1. So we can write that as x minus 1 whole square, plus we have minus 12, and then minus, we have minus 2 square, which is 4. 4 divided by 4 is just 1. So we have minus 1, and then we have x minus 1 whole square, um, plus minus 12 minus 1 is 13, so we can ignore the plus sign and we can just write it as minus 13. And of course, we shouldn't have forget 0 here. We need that equal to 0, because that's what the question has, that the other side we have equal 0. So we're going to keep that equal 0 on every step, because we need to solve for x as well. So now that we are done with applying the quadratic formula, it's time to solve for x, or find x. So we can take this negative 13 to the other side of the equation. So we get x minus 1 whole square equals positive 13. And then we can take square root on both sides. So from there we get x minus 1 equals plus or minus square root of 13. And then we must take plus 1 on the other side of the equation. So we get x equals plus or minus square root of 13 plus 1, or this can also be written as x equals, we can bring the 1 first and then plus or minus square root of 13. And these can break off to two answers because we know one of the answer is x equals 1 plus square root of 13, or x equals 1 minus square root of 13. And we have found the roots of that equation in the form of a surd. This question is also related to finding roots. This question in particular says us to find the value of k, where this equation right here has only one solution. So before we do that, we need to learn about discriminants. So uh, the discriminants b squared minus 4ac, if we calculate that, and if it's greater than 0, then there are two distinct real roots, which means there are two answers. If it's equal to 0, there is one answer that repeats itself. And if it's less than 0, there is no roots, which means there is no solution. So here, we are said that it has exactly one solution, which means b squared minus 4ac must equal to 0. So from the equation, the value of A is 5, the value of B is minus 2, and the value of C is K, because this equation is in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c. I'll write the values again. So a equals 5, b equals minus 2, and c equals k. Now, if we use our formula, the discriminant, which is b squared minus 4ac, so we can write that down as b squared minus 4ac, and that must equal to 0. B is minus 2, so we have minus 2 squared minus 4 times a. A is 5, and c is k, so times k, and that should equal 0. Now, our job is to find out the value of k. So let's rearrange this. Let's simplify first. Minus 2 square is 4. 4 minus 4 times 5 is 20. So that's minus 20k equals 0. So minus 20k equals, we can take the 4 to the other side of the equation. That's minus 4. And k equals minus 4 divided by minus 20, which is 1 over 5. So the value of k is 1 over 5. And if the value of k is 1 over 5, we know that that equation will just have one solution. It will have exactly one solution.